Dodrio and Dodrio are the forgotten about normal flying types from Generation 1. They're found too late on for most players to give them any attention, but if you're willing to listen, here is the tale of one very, very angry neglected bird making his way around the Johto region. As always, we'll start with the 7 golden rules of the challenge. Number 1, the timer will start when I walk away from Professor Elm after receiving the starter Pokémon. Number 2, only the challenge Pokémon may be used to battle. Number 3, no items in battle except balls to catch HM friends. Number 4, no evasion increasing TMs such as Double Team. Number 5, no intentional uses of glitches or exploits. Number 6, no rare candies until facing red. And number 7, the timer may be paused for breaks or thinking time, but no inputs may be made while the timer is paused. And with all that, I used the Universal Pokémon Randomizer to replace Cyndaquil with Dodrio. And the reason I chose Cyndaquil is because out of all the lines, the Totodile line will have the highest attack, and Dodrio's defense is slightly frail. But with a high speed and high attack, I am happy with this one, so let the challenge begin. Of course, the first thing we do is walk away from Professor Elm and the timer gets going. We'll show you the first encounter, which in this instance is a rat. We peck the rat and it only takes 2 hits to go down. On the left hand side of the screen you can see all the moves. The ones in bold are the stab moves, and the ones not in bold we will not get stabbed, but we can still use. Compatible TMs and HMs, bottom left hand corner we have the splits. On the top right hand corner we have the current moves, then we've got the challenge Pokemon, the base stat totals, the number of resets, and time at 4 times speed. With all that, we get a call from Professor Elm and it's time to meet the rival. The rival has stolen a Pokemon, and would you believe he has got the Totodile that I alluded to earlier. So we peck it a few times, it uses Scratch, scratches us again, and it easily goes down. But we do consume our berry a little bit earlier than I would normally like. But we do very much have a type advantage in this early part of the game. In fact, the first couple of gyms we are going to do very well. Now we call the rival triple question mark and move on with our day, talking to Professor Elm, and we've got the balls now, which means we can catch Pokemon, but we're not going to catch anything for a little bit. Instead, we're going to rush through Sprout Tower. It's all Bellsprout and the occasional Hoot, and Angry Bird just sees them as lunch, and just makes his way through every single one of them, who causes a little bit of issue, but we still have almost half health for the final Bellsprout, which we critical OHKO, taking us up to level 12 and getting us the Flash HM. And with that we can move on to Violet City's gym leader, which is Falconer. He is using the flying type, so we have the same type as him, but we have a few levels over him because we did the training in the Sprout Tower to get the Flash HM on our first pass through on Violet City. Pidgeotto's a little bit bulkier than I would have liked it to be, but it did go down in a few hits. And we learned Fury Attack at the end of that match as well, which we will never use because it has poor accuracy. 85% accurate move, I'm not going to use that. And we rush through the Union Cave into the Ilex Forest to catch our HM friends. We have the Oddish here. Oddish is going to be used for cuts, flash, and the occasional sweet scent if I need to train. And we will also catch a Psyduck as well. Now the Psyduck is going to be used for Surf, Strength, Waterfall and Whirlpool, and between those two we have all the field moves that we need covered, barring Fly. And although Dodrio can fly, it's a 95% accurate 2-turn move, so I won't be using it with the Dodrio. And with our HM friends safely tucked away in our pack, we can then move on to the only Rocket segment featured in this video. The Team Rocket segments are always full of under-leveled Pokemon, and it's the same 2 or 3 Pokemon each time, so there's no point in keeping them in because nothing interesting happens. Of course, if I learn any moves in that time, I will show you, but say goodbye to Team Rocket for the rest of the video. Kurt heals us up, and that allows us to go into the second gym, the Bug-type gym. I don't foresee any issues, but just in case, I will teach Swift over Fury Attack, so that we have an always hitting move with Stab. First out is the Metapod, and it goes down in a single hit. Scyther comes up afterwards, it starts using Fury Cutter but does barely anything. And we're still in green as we get to the final Kakuna. This is going to be a very easy gym battle for the Angry Bird, and we complete it in just under 16 minutes, time of 50 minutes and 54 seconds. And the rival comes straight after the gym. I can't foresee too many issues here, apart from that Ghastly, because of course we are a normal type, and we don't have many good moves to use against it. I'm not sure why I didn't use Peck there. Instead I used Pursuit. It sends us to sleep, but it doesn't really matter because it can't hurt us. I switch some moves around to get them in the correct order with the layout, and the Zubat goes down. Croconaur's next. Swift takes it into the green, another Swift takes it into the red, and a third Swift finishes it off. Triple Question Mark is defeated, and we can move onwards into the Ilex Forest so that we can get cut and get rid of that tree and make our way into Goldenrod City, where there's another gym badge waiting. So with cut safely on our Oddish, we're able to make our way through the forest, and just south of Goldenrod we talk to Camper Todd. He's got a Psyduck which will give us enough experience to get Tri-Attack. That's our best normal type move so far, and it can burn, paralyse or freeze the enemy. Roughly 10% chance of each happening. We give our Dodrio a lovely little haircut in the underground and pick up the coin case, and then we get our next HM friend. This one's actually a field move friend. It is the Abra that we catch here in the Goldenrod game corner. We get it for 100 coins, which is a bargain for the amount it helps out. We get Kenya as well, and then move onwards and upwards northwards towards the Sudowoodo, and we talk to this Psychic Trainer with a Kadabra and the pair of Abra, testing out Tri-Attack on him, and we gain another level. And that gets us our next useful move, which is Rage. Rage is very circumstantial, but when it works incredibly well. But before we get to Whitney, we do have to talk to the flower shop lady. And now here is the reason I learnt Rage. It's Whitney's Clefairy. It likes to use Double Slap. We use a Rage to outspeed, and it uses Double Slap and hits 4 times. That means our Rage counter is on 4, and our 20 base power move is doing huge damage, which is enough to take Miltank out in just 2 hits. So we beat Whitney, we get the plain badge, and we can move on with our lives, never to deal with that Miltank again in this run. She gives us the Attracts HM, and we move on to Kimono Girls. We beat them all with not a single hitch, so we move then on to the next rival battle. Rival number 3 can sometimes prove to be tricky, especially if you're running just a normal type Pokemon, because of that Magnemite, but in this instance our huge attack already as a Dodrio makes light work of the Magnemite. We even burn it to rub salt into the wound, and then it's just a case of hitting the Zubat once and the Croconaur a couple of times to get the win off the rival here in the Burnt Tower. And once he goes down, we can then move on to Morty. Morty, again, a dangerous gym leader because we have just a normal type Pokemon, and that means we are limited with the moves that can hit the ghost type Pokemon. So after talking to Eusine, we'll see how it goes. A leader Morty wants to battle, and he sends out the Ghastly. We use Peck and take it out in 1 hit. That's a very good start. However, we don't one-shot the Haunter, which puts us on the clock. Gengar's out, and this is going to be a 3 hit. Curse hits us, Hypnosis misses first time, Curse gets us, and then the Dream starts to be eaten with Hypnosis. So we try again. I think it's just a case of persevering and hoping that we don't get cursed too early on. Haunter comes out this time and uses Hypnosis and misses. That means we are no longer going to be on the clock, and we have a little bit more leeway with the Gengar. Gengar uses Dream Eater, takes up over half damage, but we wake up, so his Dream Eater is useless and we knock him out. Final Haunter comes out, uses Mean Luck because it can't hit us, and we get to level 31. We beat Morty and we get an evolution, but we cancel the evolution so that we can get Drill Peck earlier on, because we want Drill Peck for the fighting gym, which is where we're heading in just a matter of minutes after we take on the Lighthouse. So we go up the Lighthouse, battle a couple of trainers, and in this Gentleman Preston battle we will get our next move, the Drill Peck. We use Swift on the Growlithe, Swift on the second Growlithe, and we get up to level 33, which means we can learn Drill Peck and finally evolve our Dodrio. Very patient, waiting for the evolution there. And that left-hand head is like my mood at the moment here. But Angry Bird has evolved into Dodrio. We can then go up to the top of the Lighthouse, chat with Jasmine, who's telling us that Amphi is sick, pick up a rare candy on our way down, and then make our way over to Ecruteak City. Ecruteak City is where the Medicine Man lives, and we get the medicine, and while we're here we might as well take on the gym. We get through all the trainers no problem whatsoever because we are of course a flying type, and then out comes Chuck. We have a huge attack, we have huge speed, and Drill Peck knocks out the Primeape in 1, and then the Poliwrath comes out. We're 5 levels higher and a Drill Peck does huge damage, to Oko both his Pokemon and we get the Storm Badge. Time of 38 minutes so far in game, doing very well for itself indeed is our Dodrio. We don't go to Jasmine next though, we go to the Lake of Rage. We pick up the Rare Candy and the Hidden Power TM. We often get the Hidden Power TM here, and we make our way over to the Gyarados. The Gyarados here is the trigger point for the next part of the Team Rocket storyline. We've got to knock out or catch the shiny Gyarados and we have no use for it, so we do try attack a couple of times and don't take any damage. We get the red scale and we talk to Lance. He's going to activate the rocket segment, and at the end of the rocket segment we get HMO6, which is Whirlpool. Whirlpool is going to let us cross in the Whirl Islands and Dragon's Den a little later on. Taking on Price in Mahogany Town while we're there. We are at a type disadvantage for once against Price. However, Price isn't exactly the strongest gym leader in the region, and we can Oko his Seal and Dugong, and Piloswine is just 3 hits, including that pesky Hyper Potion to slow my speed down a little bit. But with that we get the Glacier Badge from Price. Gotta be honest, I'm a little bit embarrassed to display that one. Seemed like I didn't really work for it, but Jasmine is next. And Jasmine might prove to be a little trickier because she is the Steel-type leader, and her first 2 Pokemon are also Electric types, so we are going to struggle, I think. She sends out her first Magnemite. I decide to use Tri-Attack and get it into low red. We're paralysed, it Thunderbolts us, we take the first one down, but I think it's only a matter of time before we get knocked out. We'll try again, see if anything different happens. We don't get the Gen 2 miss and we get confused, we get Thunderbolted. There's just no point in trying, so I decide to teach Mud Slap. I teach Mud Slap in place of Rage and see if that does any better, because even though it's a feeble move, it is a 4 times effective move on the Magnemite. Now we take them both down in one hit. That leads us onto the Stelix. Stelix's signature move is Iron Tail, which is only 75% accurate, but you wouldn't think it, seeing as it manages to hit 2 in a row with the accuracy drops and then a third in 4. So we're back onto the Magnemite, try again. At least we have a consistent way to get through these now. We take out Magnemite 1 and 2. Back onto the Stelix on reset number 6. Accuracy drops on the Stelix and it misses, accuracy drops and it hits. We Mud Slap again, accuracy falls. Do Mud Slap once more, and one time after that actually. And then we move on to the Tri-Attack because we could get a freeze, we could get a paralyze, we could get a burn. Dodrio's massive attack stat does mean that Tri-Attack is still doing a lot of work. It means we can also get the burn on it at the pivotal moments and knock out the Stelix. Very difficult gym battle, but we cannot linger on that. We have some stuff to pick up. We've got a Rare Candy in Violet City, 1 south of Goldenrod, and we have the Return TM in Goldenrod. And with that all done and dusted, we can then teach Return in place of Mud Slap on the Dodrio and take on the rival in the basement of the Underground here in Goldenrod City. Another potentially tricky battle coming up, especially because I did lose Mud Slap, but I don't see his Magnemite being too much of an issue. There's only one of them, and a single Tri-Attack takes it down because we have leveled up to 43, doing a little bit of rockets in the meantime. Sneasel comes out, a very feeble Pokemon, so no need to worry about its Ice-type moves. And Feraligatr is last, another 2 hits on the Feraligatr. So it is putting up quite a fight actually, the Feraligatr, compared to the rest of his Pokemon. More rocket stuff is on its way. We aren't really interested in that, but we will get the radio card at the very end of the rocket segment, and we'll pick up HMO7 as we move east of Mahogany in the Ice Path. PP up as well, so we will use that on Tri-Attack, because I love Tri-Attack. It's very rare I get to use it, so I will use it as much as possible. We will use the Iron and the Protein as well before taking on Claire. Now Claire could be tricky because of Thunder Wave. We've got to Oko her Dragonair, which we do with number 1. Number 2 comes out and it's the same situation. Tri-Attack is very, very handy in these kind of situations because it is a powerful normal type move. And Kingdra tries to use Smokescreen. It fails, and we have got the first 8 badges of the game. We are already ready for the league. Our Dodrio is an incredibly powerful Pokemon, but Claire does refuse to give us the badge until we've been in the Dragon's Den. We answer a few questions, Claire gets admonished, and then we can get on with our next part of the journey. So we go back to New Bark Town next and head east. We're making our way into the Kanto region. We get our next Rare Candy before the Tojo Falls. We make our way through the route and find ourselves in Victory Road. The third Dodrio had said go right here for some reason. He thought he was in Mount Silver and I listened to him, but we can make up the time because we don't get Earthquake. And here comes the final rival battle. Oddly paced rival battles in this game, and this is the last one we will be doing. We try attack the Sneasel to take it out in one hit. Magneton comes out, we try attack it, we burn it, but it paralyses us, and I realised we had a berry on that I didn't want to use at this point, so I reset. Take a voluntary reset there. And the Sneasel goes the same way. Magneton, I use return on, it paralyses us though. We're just going to have to deal with the paralysis because it is a big time loss to get the next paralysed Cure Berry. Wing Attack does minimal damage so we can take out the Golbat. Out comes Haunter. Haunter curses us, that puts us on a clock, which is very, very dangerous when we are paralysed. Drill Peck makes light work of Kadabra, however, it just comes down to Feraligatr. Slash does a little bit of damage, we're fully paralysed, and the curse hits us. He hits us again for a little bit more damage and we survive on 18, but that takes us to the League. We do our tradition here at the League. We heal up at Nurse Joy. We then go to the PC and say thank you to Kenya, to Abra, to Oddish, and to Psyduck. You've all been a great help in this run so far. We buy our 4 full restores, because that's all we should need. And we will take a look at our stats before the League. 147 HP, which isn't terrible. We are at level 51. Tri-Attack, Drill Peck, Hidden Power, and Return are our moves. And our attack is 150. Defense 99, the specials are 96 apiece, and 139 in speed, so we are fast and we hit hard, and hopefully that will take us through the League. The Psychic type Will is first up for us, and he leads with a Xatu. We are 11 levels higher at this point because of the natural curve of the game, and we take out Xatu in one hit with the Tri-Attack. Jinx goes down as well with a Tri-Attack. Slowbro's going to be a little bit trickier because he is bulky. He takes 2 hits, so a very tricky bit of the battle there. Xatu's out, we might as well carry on using Return to Oko. And his final Pokemon is Executor, which he has saved till last because a Drill Peck takes it out in one hit. So Will goes down, Koga's next. Ariados is the first Pokemon, and we have a Drill Peck just for him. Fortress is next on the chopping block, and because it's part Bug-type, Drill Peck does quite significant damage. He's not got many more Pokemon that can deal with us. A Return takes out the Muck. Out comes Crobat. This thing can be a pesky little bugger at times, but we take it out in a single return because we outspeed. And Venomoth is last because it is a bug type, and we take it out in a Drill Peck. Bruno could be tricky with his Onyx, but the rest of the Pokemon should be no issue. Quick Attack off the Hitmontop to do minimal damage. Then Onyx comes out, he sends his strong Pokemon out, and a few returns will take him out, but he Sandstorms, which is a nightmare because we are going to be taking consistent damage every single turn, and we can't cheese it like we do with the rest of the gens who turn-based damage because it hits us whether we knock out or not. So we're on 45 by the time the Machamp comes out, but that goes down to 26. Fortunately, we can Oko the Machamp, and Hitmonlee is the final Pokemon which we can take out after the Sandstorm has subsided. And Karen is the final League member to go through. Return doesn't Oko the Umbreon, so once again we are sand attacked as we feel like we are every single time. Drill Peck misses, that puts us on a clock with Curse, but we take out the Gengar with the second Drill Peck. Return on the Murkrow takes it out in one hit. Our 3 heads are doing work here because we're able to see better than we would if we only had 1 head. Houndoom goes down, and Vileplume is last because it is a weak Pokemon to us, and a Drill Peck takes care of it. Karen is taken out, and that means we are ready to take on the Champion Lance. We use a Max Elixir to make sure we are at full PP. We do a save, and we move onwards and upwards. Lance, the Dragon-type trainer, although he really should call himself a Flying-type trainer. All his Pokemon are Flying types, and he leads with the Gyarados. A Return takes Gyarados down in one hit. Out comes the first Dragonite. Return takes it into the red, but it doesn't quite knock it out. Thunder Wave misses us, and out comes Dragonite number 2. He uses Thunder Wave and hits this time, and I'd forgotten to put the berry on, so this battle might as well be over. We do knock out the Dragonite, but a Rock Slide from Aerodactyl takes care of us. Same story with the first Gyarados here. It goes down in a single hit without issue. Dragonite number 2 comes out, we use Hidden Power to find out what it is, and it seems to be Dragon, because I think Ice would have done a little bit more. We use our Berry already and knock out the first Dragonite. Dragonite number 2 paralyzes us, uses Blizzard, and critical hits. Trying again at Lance, because I really don't want to have to do the League again. Gyarados this time doesn't go down in one, but it uses Rain Dance, and I try a different strategy. I want to see if Lance will use different moves because of Rain Dance, but he doesn't. We heal up on the first Paralysis, we use Return on the second Dragonite, and we get a Gen 2 miss from the Dragonite to make sure that we aren't getting Thunder Waved. Return does huge damage on the Aerodactyl, and the Aerodactyl misses. We grow to level 56 as we take on the Charizard. A Return is all Charizard needs to go, no thank you. Final Dragonite comes out. He uses Safeguard of all moves. At this point the full restores a formality and we knock out the Dragonite and become the league champion. Now I have to say this Dodrio has been a pleasure to work alongside. My favourite challenge Pokemon to date. No matter what the question is, Dodrio has the answer for it. Sometimes the answer isn't immediately staring you in the face, but Dodrio is willing to put in the work with its huge attack and speed to get us through any roadblock. And that means we have a league time of 1 hour, 17 minutes and 40 seconds. But we're not done yet. We've got another region to explore. But first we need to talk to Professor Elm to let us go to that region. He gives us the SS ticket, and he also gives us a Master Ball, which we skipped earlier on. But we will be using that for our final catch of the game. Now, because we're at the league, we've got to make our way to Cherry Grove City and say welcome back to our HM friends. We have Kenya, welcome back, Abra, Oddish and Psyduck. They are going to be back in the party, and we are going to get the last couple of rare candies in the Johto region. The first one here in Mount Mortar is on this top floor. We just go here and grab it. We couldn't get it earlier because we didn't have Waterfall, and the Whirl Islands was out of the way, but it is right next to Olivine City, which is very handy. Now that we've got them, we can take the SS Aqua over to Vermilion City. Now here on the SS Aqua, a man has lost his granddaughter, and we shall retrieve her by going down these stairs, chatting with her, and she will stop pestering the captain. We get the metal coat, and that triggers the SS Aqua to arrive in Kanto. New region, new Pokemon, new challenges. And something I learned is that you can use teleport as soon as you get off the ship to make an easy transition to the Pokemon Center, which lets us then go and chat to the director of the fan club to give us our next rare candy, and we can then go to Erica. The first gym leader we're taking on in the Kanto region should be the easiest, because she's a grass type leader and we are a bird, and that bird just sees lunch. Tangler is the starter, Victory Bell is the appetite cleanser, out comes the Blossom, that is the main course. Then we have the Jumpluff for dessert. All the Pokemon go down in one hit. Erica gets defeated and she gives us the Rainbow Badge. And we actually make our way to Lavender Town next to get TM47 before taking on Misty. TM47 is Steel Wing, and we're going to use it in this battle because I forgot that water resists steel. Every so often I do just have a brain fart with the type matchups, and I thought this would be super effective against the Lapras. Lapras uses Rain Dance, which doesn't really affect things, and it does mean that we avoid the Perish Song and any potential ice moves that Lapras may have. Starmie goes down in return, Quagsire is out last because of the ground typing, and we take out Misty. We might as well take out Sabrina and Lieutenant Surge as we're at it. Sabrina is very easy, we outspeed, and all her Pokemon are quite frail, so we take out Espeon, Mr. Mime and Alakazam all in one hit. Lieutenant Surge is going to be tricky though, because he is the electric type, but that's why I've put him off till this point in the game. Raichu comes out, we use Return to take it out in one hit. It's the Magneton I am worried about, which is the Pokemon we're against now, but Return Oko's somehow. Electabuzz is next, Return takes him out, that just leaves the Electrode. We outspeed even Electrodes to take them down in one hit apiece, and Lieutenant Surge wasn't a problem this time, which is especially amazing seeing as we are a flying type. But with that we get the next badge and we can move on to the Snorlax. Snorlax is our final catch of the game, and we use this just for the leftovers. If we had Thief, we'd do that because that would be a little bit quicker, but we don't have Thief, we are using the Master Ball, so we're going to be carrying on this Snorlax around with us for the rest of the game. And now that we're the other side of the Kanto region, we can take on Brock in Pewter City. Steel Wing is going to be very, very important for this battle, otherwise it would be a bit of a slog, but that Steel type makes light work of his Rock Ground Pokemon. Graveler, Onyx and Rhyhorn all go down in a single hit each. The Water Rock Pokemon, however, could be a little bit trickier, because of course they do resist Steel type. However, Omastar doesn't put up much of a fight, giving us only minimal damage with Surf. And Kabutops gets hit by Steel Wing, gets into the red. Surf does barely anything again. It endures to prolong the battle again, but Brock is defeated and we make our way onwards to Cinnabar Island. Cinnabar Island is my least favourite place in this game because it makes me so sad, and it seems like Blue shares that sentiment. He is very upset that Cinnabar Island went up in a volcano explosion, so we will move on from there very quickly and take on Blaine, who has bravely relocated to the Seafoam Islands and has killed quite a few wild ice type Pokemon in the process. Mudcar goes first. Steel Wing is what we're using. It isn't super effective, but it gets the job done because of that part rock type. Return is going to be useful on Magmar and his Rapidash, and we even outspeed the Rapidash. We are 13 levels higher, but we won't hold that against the Angry Bird. That takes us very nicely on to Janine. She leads with the Crobat, which goes down in a single return. Weezing's next. Return is just the job for that. And her final Pokemon is her last non-bug type Pokemon with another Weezing. She's got the 2 bits of lunch for Dodrio next, starting with an Ariados. That is the appetizer. And the main course is the Venomoth. She uses a dire hit on it, and we got a dire hit on her. Moving swiftly on to Blue next, the final gym leader, leading with a Pidgeot, and Return is just the job to take that out. Rhydon's next. Steel Wing seems like it should do great damage, but it only takes it into the yellow, and he uses Sandstorm. That dreaded move is back again. That means we're going to be taking damage every single turn, whether we like it or not. His are as well, but we've only got the one. He's got 6 Pokemon. Gyarados comes out, gets hit by the Sandstorm. We use Return, and it doesn't knock it out, which is a blessing in disguise, because it means he uses Rain Dance, and we stop taking that passive damage and critical hit. Arcanine is out, Extreme Speed does barely anything. We get it into the red, and that triggers a full restore. Another couple of hits, and it is down. We're in yellow for the Executor, but of course we are the flying type Pokemon against a grass type Pokemon, so it puts up no fight whatsoever, and with that we have all 16 badges of the Kanto region. And that means we've only got one thing left to do, and that's take on Red. We chat with Professor Oak, who will let us access Mount Silver. He'll also admonish us about our Pokédex, but we don't care about that. We just want to get to Mount Silver. It's a very quick trip from Viridian City into Mount Silver. We use the fly trick to save a little bit of time, and then we chop down a couple of trees to make sure that we can get our final rare candy here at the end of Route 28. And with that we have our 10 rare candies, we have our Pokemon, we have our hope, we have some dreams, and we can go into Mount Silver and take on Red. As always, we'll take him on at our current levels, see how we can do, and see if we need to rare candy or change some moves. Return takes out the Pikachu, so that big threat is no longer a threat. Blastoise comes out next. It has Blizzard, it hits, and critical OHKOs us. We'll try again and see if anything changes. We're at level 65 at the moment. We use Return, and Pikachu goes down. Red's Blastoise is next. Blizzard misses, so we can use Return again and critical hit to take it out. Then comes the Espeon. We're a physical attacker, so we're hoping it doesn't use Reflect. But of course we nearly knock it out, get it really into the red, and Reflect goes up. That means we're going to have to try and play it a little bit smarter with the Snorlax. We're going to try and avoid getting it to rest, but we also need to avoid getting paralysed. We don't do that here, and we are losing control of this fight. We get paralysed, it goes to sleep, and now we are fighting a losing battle. Even though Reflector's gone and we are doing big damage with the Tri-Attack, we are paralysed, and that's going to put us at such a disadvantage for the rest of this battle. Charizard comes out, we are going to be slower than it, Flamethrower is enough to knock us out. At this point I'm at loath to use rare candies, because we are dealing huge damage on all the Pokemon, even the Snorlax, and it just feels like we need a little bit of luck. But that Blizzard is an issue, and that Blizzard is enough for me to rethink my strategy. We're at 16 HP as the Espeon comes out. We don't OHKO it, and Psychic knocks us out. So I think it's time to give up on using level 65. We'll use 4 rare candies to get to level 69. Tri-Attack takes out the Pikachu. We use Return on the Blastoise, and it's all going to be about missing that Blizzard. It's not a particularly accurate move, so we can potentially miss it more often than we think. We can OHKO the Espeon at this point as well. We're not going to be able to take out the Snorlax though because of the Blizzard earlier, but this is good progress. Angry Bird takes out the Pikachu once again, and because it's Gen 2, no static. We use Return on the Blastoise, Rain Dance this time, which was a little bit of a change. And we get a critical hit to knock out the Blastoise. We're at full health for the Espeon. Espeon does use Reflect this time, which is a shame because we were OHKOing it before. And that means we're going to have to use our strats on the Snorlax again. We freeze it, this is perfect. A frozen Snorlax can't go to sleep, and we knock it out. This is the best situation we've been in so far. Charizard gets hit, gets into the yellow. We are in the yellow ourselves now though, but there is only one Pokemon left, and that is the Venusaur. Venusaur is weak to us, which is why he left it last. He takes in Sunlight, and that is not enough to knock us out. We grow to level 70, and Red is defeated. And the Angry Bird has done it in a time of 1 hour, 46 minutes and 4 seconds, which puts it in second place on the leaderboard. Dugong drops down to third, and Corsola drops down to fourth. And with that, we're done. It's been a bit of a shorter one this time, mostly because my voice hasn't been holding up as well as I'd like it to, so I had to really condense this down to the important parts. But if you did enjoy this format, let me know down below, and I can keep it. In the meantime, if you did enjoy this video, please consider leaving it a like, and please do subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. So thank you all so much for watching, it does mean the world to me, and I'll see you all very, very soon.